Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. For today's video we've got a double Diaclone comparison as we're going to be taking a look at both the Transformers Legacy Buzzworthy Bumblebee SILVERSTREAK and the Generation Selects DK2 Guard, also known as a black Earthrise Ironhide repaint. And both of these for the most part are just that, simple repaints of already pre-existing molds, although where SILVERSTREAK is concerned it's a little more interesting as there's some almost kit bashing on Hasbro's part going on where the head and the torso is concerned, but we'll set him here off to the side for now and very quickly take a look here at the DK2 Guard. Now, to be honest, I was actually quite excited for this figure, despite it just being a simple repaint of Earthrise Ironhide. I thought the colour scheme looked killer, and if anything, really does remind me of Bayverse Ironhide. You dare point a gun at me, I will tear you apart! So I am wondering whether or not this kind of deco was the inspiration for that character, but you can see, in regards to sculpt work, exactly the same as the previous Ironhide that I believe we saw in the Autobot Alliance 2-pack way back in 2020. So this figure may in fact actually be the most affordable option of actually getting this mold into the collection, as of course that original 2-pack now sadly goes for astronomical prices on the aftermarket, but I definitely don't think you'd be getting the short end of the stick. This is a really nice redeco. You can see where that mouth is concerned, it's been completely painted in red with those super piercing blue eyes, and here for the almost chest/van unit, you can see the detailing on that actually looks pretty decent. Of course, we've still got that fat-ass shield slap bang here on the side, which I guess is kind of parts forming, but to be honest, it's never really bothered me. You can see how it can act as an almost riot shield in order for Ironhide to smack down the Decepticons, or if you do lift it up, it has got these almost exhaust pipes, which I guess could double as missile barrels, which is a really, really nice touch. And we do get this super cool silver painted blaster, which actually looks so much better when in comparison to the original Earthrise Ironhide weapon. You can see the sculpt work for the arms looks great. As we just take a look down here to the lower section, we've got some nice intricate detailing where the thighs are concerned, and the same can also be said here for the back of the legs. In all honesty, I won't touch base with this guy too much, just as it is essentially fairly straightforward, so we'll just very quickly bring out the Earthrise Ironhide for a comparison. And as you guys can see, literally exactly the same as one another, although if I were to be honest, I do find myself liking this new Gen Select version ever so slightly more than the original Earthrise version. I just think the black looks so much nicer when in comparison to the red, but both really nice figures. As mentioned previously, if you didn't manage to pick this figure up, then I definitely don't think this would be a bad shout by any stretch of the imagination. But let's set these here off to the side and of course take a look at what is arguably the main event of this review, that being the long-awaited SILVERSTREAK. Finally, with the actual name SILVERSTREAK, you can see here that in regards to detail, I think out of all of the Datsun Bros that we've seen for Earthrise so far, this is by far the nicest repaint. It just looks so awesome. It's rather random though that it's kind of packaged under Buzzworthy Bumblebee. I have no idea as to what's going on in regards to releases for that line, but you can see here for the head, completely decked out there in this wicked looking glossy blue. We've got some nice yellow highlights there for the crest, and the paintwork for the face actually looks really impressive. You can see here for the chest unit, we've of course got his signature SILVERSTREAK, which I think has been applied really nicely. We've got the Autobot insignia slap bang there in the center. To be honest, I was expecting this to just be a straight up repaint of Bluestreak, but the entire chest unit is in fact taken from the smokescreen mold. So in some ways, this is in fact the most interesting repaint we've seen for this mold so far. But you can see the arms look great, as so does the white plastic. As we just take a look here down to the lower section, really nice looking details. I really do hope, however, that this doesn't go yellow like there has been on some reports of either the Earthrise Megatron or sadly the Cyberverse RC, but even here down to the lower section, you can once again see that really nice blue, and even the cast blue actually looks really nice when in comparison there to the paint. So overall, a very nice looking figure. Of course, for comparison, let's bring out the 100 million repaints that we've already seen for this mold. And as you guys can see, we're definitely not short when it comes to these Datsun Bro repaints. And we've got here the almost evolution food chain of this mold. So it began with the Earthrise smokescreen, then we got Prowl, Bluestreak, and then of course, finally here, SILVERSTREAK. And just in terms of personal preference, I think out of these two repaints here, SILVERSTREAK is definitely the best, with smokescreen being my personal favorite out of the bunch. Just I think that blue really does pop, and that's probably the main reason why I do like this SILVERSTREAK so much, is because the color of blue is awesome. But definitely feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Out of all four, which is your personal favorite? As mentioned beforehand, you can see how this guy's kind of a kit bash of all of the versions that came before him. So you can see here that we do borrow the entire body here from the original smokescreen. However, the head is just a direct carryover of either Prowl or of course the original Bluestreak. And now coming back to the DK2 Guard, just to very quickly showcase the transformation, as I really don't like reviewing Transformers without actually showcasing the transformation. So to begin with, you're just going to want to pop all of the weapons out, come here to the chest unit, collapse that down, and then take the head and swing that there into that cavity. We can then come here to the back, disengage this section, take the arms, and just rise them up like so. and snap them in like this. We can then rotate this entire chest unit all the way around and then snap that front bumper in, lift this section up, and then just come here to the legs, fold out these panels, and you'll notice how we've got this tiny tab that will in fact actually peg into a slot here on the inside of the arm. So just align this up to the best of your ability. It can be a little finicky to do the first couple of times, but just snap that in there, and of course snap that in here. Come to the underside, ensure that everything is pushed together, and then just collapse these panels here along the side. Take this missile rack, fold out the windows, ensure that this section here is compressed, and then this will just come over the top and will snap into place. Just like that. And there we have the DK2 Guard fully transformed up into his really cool van vehicle mode. And if anything, for those of you who liked the look of the robot mode, I definitely think you're going to love the look here of the vehicle mode, as it's just so cool. I really like the detailings that we've got along here. You can see we've got those yellow and red stripes. We've also got this golden seam that goes around that. Sadly, of course, it still has all of the same issues that plagued the original Earthrise Ironhide, such as the massive feet that hang out here to the back. But I'm not entirely sure whether or not it's due to the darker colour scheme, but it actually doesn't look that bad on this figure. You can see we've got some nice sculpt work there for the wheels. The front of the vehicle's turned out nicely with some window wiper detailing, and overall not looking too bad. If I just very quickly bring in the Earthrise Ironhide here for a comparison, you can see exactly the same in terms of moulding, so it is merely just the colour schemes of which differ between the two. And very quickly showcasing the transformation here for Silverstreak. To begin with, you're just going to want to take these sections and fold them in there. We can then combine the two halves, so snap that in like so, detach the shoulder joints, and repeat the same process. And then basically you want to take this front chest unit and disengage this tab here from that slot. That will then allow you to take this entire section, lift it up and over the head, and then just snap that into place. We can then rotate the waist so that the front is now facing the back, and then just basically collapse all of this here upon itself so that it sits underneath this region, and then just collapse the feet like so. We can then come here to the shoulders, rotate those out, snap that there into place, and then hinge those down. Come here to this side and repeat the same process, collapse those in, snap all of that into place, and there we have Silverstreak fully transformed up into his vehicle mode, and once again the almost evolution food chain of this repaint slash remold. So you can see all of the Datsun Bros actually looking really awesome. I've decided to leave the guns attached here on the front of the hood, just as personally I think it looks slightly cooler, but we'll set these two here off to the side, as it really is these vehicle modes of which are identical in terms of molding to one another. So you can see that it is truly just a difference in terms of colour, but personally I really love the way this guy looks, and the way all of them look, to be honest. I think they're all incredibly distinctive for what is for the most part just basically a repaint. All of them in their own right look really cool, and once again I just think it's going to come down to personal preference as to which one you guys prefer to add to the collection. But very quickly going over the details, you can see we've got that really nice silver hood, and then as we just take a look here towards the back, you can see some nice tail lights, as well as there the exhaust. So there really isn't that much to discuss in regards to Silverstreak's vehicle mode. And so there was my double Diaclone comparison review. Overall, I think both of these are really cool repaints. In regards to the Silverstreak, I actually think it's super cool that at long last we've actually got a proper Silverstreak with that Silverstreak. I think it's such a cool repaint. Of course, we've already seen 3 of the mold up until this guy's release, but I think each and every one of them in their own right are really individual and unique. And to be honest, I think this is one of the rare instances where I actually don't mind double dipping, or should I say quadruple dipping, on a mold, as I think this guy's turned out really nicely. For those of you who are a fan of the almost seeker element where you can pick up multiples of the same mold but just in a different color scheme, I definitely think you're going to like this, guys. Personally, I think as far as molding is concerned, this Datsun Bro mold is better than the Siege Starscream mold. That's just my personal opinion. So in all honesty, I have no issue in picking up yet another repaint of this guy. I think it's turned out great. As far as the DK2 Guard is concerned, once again another great opportunity to in fact actually get this mold into the collection. Of course, it's not in the traditional G1 Ironhide color scheme, but the original Earthrise version is just so elusive and so difficult to track down, and I know there are many of you that would just be literally happy to own the mold itself. And in my personal opinion, despite this being inspired by his Diaclone repaint, I actually prefer the look of this when in comparison to the original G1 scheme. Of course, that's probably down to personal bias of me having a huge love for the Bayverse Ironhide design and color scheme, but really and truly I think it's an excellent figure. And for those of you who don't own either the Earthrise Ironhide or Earthrise Ratchet, I think this would be a really cool figure to in fact actually pick up. So as far as repaints are concerned, these are definitely 2 of the best ones to come out as of late, and I'd really love to hear your your thoughts down in the comment section below. Out of all of the Datsun brothers that we've seen so far, which is your personal favourite? And out of the original Earthrise Ironhide and this DK2 Guard, which colour scheme do you guys prefer? I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.